Alright, thank you so much for allowing me to speak. So I'm ferry, prima, putra, pratama, a student of high school in CIREBON, and I'm the first speaker of the Pasay team. With the motion, this house opposes words and recognition in artistic or creative field. So, first, in this debate, I'd like to rebut the affirmative team statement, and then I will give in my argument, and then the conclusion as a closure. So, the first statement I'd like to rebut from the affirmative team is that he mentioned about Katy Perry and Nicki Minaj were banned from Grammy, and then because of a conflict with the executive, and then he said that the Grammy is unfair. Well, it is. I disagree with that statement because it is not really a big deal. While it is ordinary thing to be happen. I mean, in fact, there's a lot of competition that ban someone because of many reasons, and it's ordinary thing. We should we should normalize that because it does just mean that they're not invited. It doesn't mean that the word is unfair. No, because that statement, I got that statement just talking about the word goes unfair and it lost its ascension itself. I don't really agree. I really don't agree with that statement. It is a big no for me because of what? Just because one and two artists being banned in some award, it doesn't mean that the award is being unfair and lost its ascension. No. And the second statement I'd like to rebut is that he mentioned about TikToker that been invited at Met Gala and being hated. Well, he mentioned that statement when he talking about Grammy and Oscar, which is it is an award for music and movie. So why I rebut this statement because it is not apple to apple. If you don't know, Met Gala is a fundraising. It is a fundraising for a celebrity and famous person in USA. It is an event to searching for money. It is a social event. It is not apple to apple. If you compare that Met Gala with Grammy and Oscar, it is really not apple to apple. So I believe that the affirmative team didn't really get the point of the motion. The affirmative team don't recognize what's the award, what's the artist award is. So I believe that this statement he said is not relevant. And also, I hate to say this, but the affirmative team doesn't make the motion clear. Why? He he don't even limit the motion clearly. For example, he do talk about music often, but at the same time, at some point, while he talking about music, he ever mentioned about painting. He ever mentioned about movie. Well, it is really confusing for me. So I believe that affirmative team just being not ready to be delivering their argument. It is his argument because I all I see is he don't know what he do. He don't know what he talk. And then the third statement I'd like to rebut is that he said that words just compared two different art style. No, that's why I said that he don't know what he talking about because there will be no words that comparing two different art style. It is always comparing the same art style. For example, Grammy comparing a music, Oscar comparing a movie, and in Grammy they're comparing the same genre. They comparing the album and they comparing some new artists. And in in the movie, in Oscar, the movie is compared with the same theme, the same topic. So there are no different art style compared in awards. So that's why I said that he don't know what exactly art award is. And he said that art is subjective, right? But also he mentioned about people would be critic. He mentioned that he worried that people would be criticize an artist because the achievement. So I just really don't understand what he tried to say about because just because someone being critical, it doesn't mean that they pursued with some awards. For example, Grammy, Oscar, EMA, it's just held once in a year. So it's impossible for that award can pursue that art losing its ascension to be subjective. He worried art being not subjective because of the word, but it is never really happen. Never ever happen. So just because someone being critical, it doesn't mean that they pursued by the words. Yes, it is just because art is subjective. Art is about taste. So when someone critic some artists, it's just because they have taste. It's not because the bad thing about words. And then he ever mentioned about a word is good for engagement, and it's right. I do agree with that statement, but the question is why he blames something that he already said that is beneficial. So I can say that he is not commitment with his statement. So that's why I believe that he doesn't really ready to speak an argument. All right, and the last statement that I'd like to rebut from him is that he said that artists crave to win the words, so they won't make an authentic art or performance. Instead, to do majority prefers to make audience vote for them. It is a big no because, for example, Ariana Grande, Sia, Zayn, Bibi Rexha, Justin Bieber, they're rarely seen winning a competition and awards, but they still got the fame. They still being popular and being successful in the indie industry. So the reality is artists make a song that to fit the listener, and even if artists try to chase more listener, it is fine. It is not even worse because the music or arts is industry. We can't forget that music is industry right now, and even if art is subjective, but we also cannot deny that art and music is industry. So in my argument, if words remove if words for artists removed, it will artists would somehow lose much engagement. For example, Billie Eilish in 2019, she got 5 Grammy awards. And after that, her fame is blowing after winning that Grammy. So it means that award is really beneficial for an artist. So if we remove that awards, how could artists be have this kind of moment? And then artists would have no targets, so they for their arts, so they won't attracted to make a better quality of their arts. They won't try to chase anything because they have no reason for what they have no awards. Sometimes artists feel proud when they got an award, so the awards is more given positive side in not much given a bad side. In conclusion, I obviously disagree if awards be opposes, and I believe that awards is important for artists to improve their quality and arts, and I'm proudly say that I gave a better logical and factual statement than the affirmative team, so I can say that I win this debate.